Meow.
How's it going, everyone? My name is SwingPoynt, and I want to do a little bit of story time with you guys, if you guys are okay with that. In this game, Fran Bow, we've already completed it. But there was one really huge part of it that we never really did, or never really read, I should say. And that huge part is in my purse right here, and it is called Leon's Diary, or the Book of Leon, whatever you want to call it. We could have read it during the playthrough. I didn't because it's a little long, but it's not that long. It's long enough to make its own episode, but as a whole, it's really not that long. So I want to go ahead and read this with you. I got all the lights off because it's a little spooky, a little eerie. And the reason I want to read it with you guys is because it's a really good read if you've completed the story and if you've never even played the game before, because it gives you a really good idea of what Fran Bow is about and the story and the trials and tribulations that Fran Bow goes through. And if you've already completed the game, it gives you a little bit more detail as to what we were actually dealing with in Fran Bow's little wonderland that she has here. It's really interesting, really sad, and I want to read it with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this here. I hope you guys enjoy this with me, and if you haven't watched Fran Bow yet, maybe this will get you into watching the Fran Bow series that we have on the channel, because it's, like I said, this is kind of what the story's all about. In a weird way. This is what Fran Bow's going through. And to give you a little bit of background on the book, this is Leon's diary, Leon Castillo. If you don't know who Leon Castillo is, he is somebody who actually worked at the Oswald Asylum, the place where Fran Bow starts off. And he was a researcher, may have even done some of his own projects, and he got really sick with whatever the thing that is that Fran Bow has. I don't know if he was testing medicine on himself or what. And when we're in one of the ultra realities, little Fran Bow actually says, hey, I met Leon and he told me all about this stuff. So she must have met Leon in the asylum and told him all about, or told her all about what's going on in this diary. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this here. I found myself hunting the truth, but finding the unexpected. I found what my senses couldn't show me. I found the truth that relays silently in the unknown. Leon Castillo, one of the 1,000. July 11th, 1908. My name is Leon, and I am currently 92 years old and living alone in a little house far away from the city. I have to admit, I was never fond of jewelry, houses, or clothing. Since childhood, I always talked to animals, plants, and insects, and even though I never got a response, I never quit. If you are reading this, maybe it's because you are looking for answers or making a YouTube video. Maybe you can see things that others can't, or maybe you can feel what others avoid. You can listen to the silence and have become one with everything. And here's Leon. Creepy dude. I don't know why you would do that, but I'll show you. Well, I probably already showed you in the video. There's another picture of Leon when he's with his crew at the asylum. And here we get into all these dark creatures that Fran Bow's been dealing with the entire time. December 17th, 1875. I can't stop it. I can't control it. I see the black shadows everywhere. The blood, the messages, the screaming, all the pain. I can't figure out why this is happening to me. Can you see me? December 19th, 1875. I had a vision. I'm still breathing fear. I feel at war with my own mind. One of the shadows came down from the sky. I thought it was an angel. Its name is Remor, Prince of Darkness from the 5th reality. It talked to me, played with me, and showed me all the terrors. It told me that I was the key to its existence. Inside my head, the stone of wisdom inside my head, which I think kind of goes into how Fran Bow was dealing with things inside of her head this entire game. So, cry because it hurts. January 13th, 1876. I can see myself around. The other me tells me lies, talks about all the pain and suffering in my life. The other me wants me to commit suicide. He smiles while pronouncing the words, kill yourself. And I have tried, hypnotized by his words, but there's always something saving me at the end. It must be the love to live. And to reiterate, this book is exactly what Fran Bow has been going through this entire time. So try to keep that in mind as we're going through this. This isn't just what Leon went through. This is what Fran Bow has been going through the entire time we played the game. So like all this creepy stuff that we're seeing, this is what Fran Bow was dealing with. I meet a shadow for the first time. It talked to me. The Kamalas. Their race is called the Kamalas, and they hunt weakness and pain. I asked it about the possession of human bodies, and it said, we are born and feed from fear and the uncontrolled illness of the human mind. We are invisible to them, but our existence grabs every single living cell of the body until the end. After that, It started raining, and it walked away from me, leaving a black, oily path after it. I believe water may purify them. January 16th, 1876. After seeing the Kamalis reacting to the water, I thought of trying a little experiment. Last night I encountered something amazing. The Kamalis transform into a kind of creature when exposed to water, a new kind of creature. The metamorphosis was painful to watch. After the terrible screaming, the Kamalis calmed down and started to cry on the ground. It felt like the pain was disappearing. After a few minutes, a bright and peaceful being was rising right in front of me. And this beautiful being is the Valakus, I think is how you say that. It felt like the bright creature could read my thoughts.
I thank you for waking me up. I was suffering. I must go where I belong. Itherstar waits. All Valakus must go there after waking up. If you wish to see the light, come with me. You have the key,
it said. I didn't answer. After a while, it faded away. February 2nd, 1876. I was reading my writings to see if I'm missing something. I recall more from the fifth reality. If there is a fifth reality, there must be at least 4 more. I was thinking that Itherstar may not be a city in this world, but perhaps a reality by itself. I wish all the answers came to me. I deeply regret the fact that I didn't accept the Valakus invitation. Since I saw the Valakus, I keep the diagram spinning in my head and a single sentence. Time is the rhythm of your perception. In this picture, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it almost seems like there's 5. I'm guessing this is the 5 realities. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. I don't know what the center is, what that all is coming from. That might even be my own head. That might be my own brain. And everything stems out from that. I'm not entirely sure what exactly that means. Mars 13th, 1876. Is that like what they did back then? When they're talking about March or something? I got a visit from my son Brian. I told him about the things that I've seen, but he didn't want to hear it and he left. I don't blame him. I understand that the reality presented before my eyes is invisible to most people. I wish I could find a friend just like me, because my son,
he thinks I'm insane.
July 25th, 1876. My body and mind are beginning to understand the pattern. Life becomes quite easy to control when you cut all social laws and only apply our reality laws, because they are not only laws, but also behaviors. Chemical behaviors, natural laws. Without those behaviors, without those laws, we wouldn't exist. Sometimes I wish I could just be a leaf on the ground, calm while dying. Last night, after the storm, a huge creature visited my garden for a few seconds, and then it disappeared. I found a strange bottle with a pink liquid inside in the same spot the creature had landed. I can't fully understand the contents of the bottle. I found red blood cells in it, and bacteria that's not yet recognized. The bacteria seems to get rid of unusual behaviors in any kind of living creature. I poured some of the pink liquid on a dying plant, and it bloomed just after a few minutes. I cut my finger to test the liquid with human tissue, and it cured it just after a few seconds. This bacteria may work as platelets and white blood cells, but at a very, very high speed. And if you don't know what these two things are, on the left-hand side, that's Palantros. He is one of the people that we meet, or one of the creatures that we meet while we're going through the Fran Bow story, and this pink liquid is like the blood of the Valakus or something like that, or the Great Valakus, and it has healing powers, which we find out during Fran Bow's story. November 22nd, 1876. I dream of thousands of black cats surrounding my house, big yellow eyes staring at my sleep. And I don't know exactly what that means. I think it has something to do with Mr. Midnight, and whether or not he's even real, or whether or not he's a good kitty. But, like I said, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Anywho, beings in Itherstar are varied, from roots to giant insects. Roots are the first in this reality, insects came later. I learned their language and numerology. So Itherstar is where we met King Zyar, right? The Great Valakus is the beginning of the first reality. Primiv, light. The Valakus shield. The Valakus body structure is quite different from ours. They are made out of photons and sound waves. They're also both male and female. When the youngster reaches the age of 299,792,459, they are crowned with the shield. Zyar. Creation of the great Valakas, king of Ithersta, second reality, life. So yeah, Zyar, I think, is a guy that kind of looks like a big old tree. I think he's the king of Ithersta, if I recall correctly. February 13th, 1877. Being in Ithersta feels like becoming what you can't understand on Earth. It's where leaves sing while falling off the tree and water whispers its wisdom while you drink it. Pandora. Creation of the 5 realms of essential existence. Free! Resides in the human world, the third reality. Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. Consciousness. Practice of will. So that means that human world is a third reality? Okay, that makes sense. Center Sadi. The end of vibration. When both ends of opposites are the same degree. Resides in the third and fourth reality. Death. And that actually makes sense, because if you recall from the second reality, Ithersta, we talked about death with some of the plants that were there, the roots, I should say, and the insects. And they said death doesn't exist. Which makes sense now, because death only starts to exist in the third and fourth, and then also the fifth reality, which is like the most messed up one. Interesting. Yeah, they said that death only exists if you don't have love. Which makes sense with how death starts in the third reality. Mabuka is the end of light, and also like the mother of darkness. March 23rd, 1877. Mother Mabuka is letting me go. I've spent 15 days in Mabuka's den and I'm tired. I don't need to hide from pain anymore because it's a part of me. It feels like love is everywhere and is in everything. I enjoy crying. I enjoy laughing. Just enjoy being alive. No date recorded. I'm getting ready for the journey back home. Mabuka sent me to the endless limits of Mabuka's den, and I'm waiting for the Luciferns. I had to become friends with them, or to become more precise, become one of them. Luciferns gather in filaments. They're like those little dragonfly things, and they like turn into like creepy faces with hair. That's why they look like they're growing hair, and the big face is mostly for communication purposes, and to scare their predators. I hope my body can survive the journey. October 2nd, 1878. Gravity collects particles to create new ones. It's a creative force, and with creativity, evolution is inevitable. And it ends there. That's the end of it. Somebody tore out all the rest of the pages, which super sucks. I don't know if you can find collectibles throughout the story which fill up your book, but I looked on the Fran Bow wiki, and I couldn't find anything. So this is where it ends, and I feel like it's a really, really, really interesting way to kind of sum up Fran Bow and then also introduce you to Fran Bow. And I don't really know what this is now that I look at it. This kind of looks like the fifth reality thing again, except they're all kind of going on their own rotation, where before they were kind of all going in sync. So I don't know if that means that's the point where he lost control of the realities, because part of what Fran Bow and this Leon guy were dealing with is that they can't really discern what's real. Sometimes they're in the fifth, sometimes they're in the second reality, sometimes they're in the third. It all kind of blends together. So I wonder if that's part of what's going on. And maybe this stuff that he tore out of his book was his research or his thoughts on how he could make medicine pills on how to force people into a different reality. Because a big part of what Fran Bow is that we had these pills the entire time, and these pills were something that were crafted by the Oswald Asylum, which is a very nasty place. The Oswald Asylum was trying to test subjects, or children I should say, with medicine to see if they could force these children to feel certain things, think certain things, go through the different realities. So, that's that. That's the Book of Leon, Leon's Diary. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's kind of weird, I've never really done a video like this before where we just sat and read something the entire time. But I feel like, in honor of Fran Bow and the story and the walkthrough and the gameplay we had together, all the fun moments, all the serious moments, I felt like this was a really good way to put Fran Bow to rest. So, if you guys enjoyed this, go ahead, like that video. Let me know if you guys want to see more things like this in the future whenever we discover really in-depth lore of games that we play. And then I'll see you guys in the next video that we do around here. Mwah, 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 and meow. Holy shit! Whoa, I didn't know that happened! Oh my god, she follows my mouse. How's it going, everyone? My name is SwingPoynt, and welcome to a game called Fran Bow. If you've been around this channel for a very long time, all the way back in 2013,